Hello, this is Alyssa Jackson.
This is Kathleen Wilhelm.
And we're from EDM 310 at the University of South Alabama.
Today's podcast will be about chapters 1, 2, 7, and the epilogue of Rafe Esquith's book, There Are No Shortcuts. In chapter 1, titled Curtains, the author makes his mission statement. He says, more than anything else, this book is meant to be a reminder of what public education can be. He also states that he has one more objective. He says, I want to give hope to young teachers who would like to run against the wind but are afraid of the consequences. He then talks about how we, as future teachers, need to examine why public education is failing our students. Poverty, greed, and uniform lesson plans are destroying our students. Nobody wants to see all the problems, but we must so we can fix it. He then goes into his experiences with being a first-time teacher. He once planned a trip with his students and parents to see the play Romeo and Juliet on a Saturday. The principal found out and said that was forbidden. Since he was so angry and upset about letting down his students and their parents, he lashed out at the principal. He became in trouble and had to repeat part of his journey to become a teacher. He gave in to the source of doing whatever it took to be a part of the education system. Alyssa, would you give in to the education system or defend your students?
Now that is something to think about.
He tells the readers that teachers do not need to wait every day for the dismissal bell. Having your students walk in a straight line and having a beautiful classroom does not make you a great teacher. Having your students read well is better than having your students like you. The author then tells the readers about his experience with teaching at an upper-class school that he called Camelot. All the students were behaved and all spoke English. It sounded great, but teachers were cheating to get higher test scores so their school could get more money. And when he took them on a field trip and they stayed at a really nice hotel, he was expecting the students to love it. One girl informed them that she had been at a better one before. It was then that he realized that he did not want to work at this perfect school. He started working at a school that he called the jungle. Would you rather teach at a school where they don't need you or work in a school where you can actually make a difference?
I would rather help others than to be at a place where I'm not needed. The whole point of becoming a teacher is to make a difference in children's life instead of making yourself look good.
Good. In chapter 2, titled Where Are You?, he talks about teaching and how it's not a popularity contest. Having the students like you is not the main goal. In order to impress the young female assistants, when they would ask why he had such passion for teaching, he would reply, because I want the best. I want to be the best. Until one woman, who would later become his future wife, told him his response is selfish. Doing this shouldn't be about you. It should be about the students. Defining your mission with your students takes years of success and failures. Young teachers struggle day to day, but good teachers have goals every day. Rafe then talks about why students struggle. Everything is too easy for the younger generation. We have instant everything. There is fast food, there is instant music, and there is shopping online. Nobody has the patience to sit and learn as much as they can. In this chapter, it is where the title of the book comes from too. There are no shortcuts. He used this phrase with his students and they started studying harder than ever. Someone even come in school 2 hours earlier and study on a Saturday with him. Some students have to work harder to reach their dreams. One of his students, Kevin, had a stuttering problem and a bad home life. He fought through many obstacles to become the best he could. When a younger student asked him how he overcame everything, he responded, there are no shortcuts, and smiled.
In chapter 7, titled On the Road to Find Out, Rafe Esquith teaches elementary school at the 5th grade level. He feels that the most important thing of teaching and parenting is to know who you are. Although Rafe doesn't know the answers to who he is, he still is a successful teacher. Rafe found a book that he could really relate to, Mark Twain, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Huck Finn was a character Rafe felt like he resembled. After several problems Rafe was having, he soon understood that Huck was not the answer. After now realizing he was ready to find his role model who had the answers, he referred to Harper's Lee, To Kill a Mockingbird, and realized he had found his hero in Atticus Finch. Also, Rafe feels that it is important that teaching must be by example, not by lecture. Kindness has to be part of the classroom mission, and that teaching the sort of kindness that lived in the heart of Atticus Finch will be the most difficult teaching challenge of all. In addition to that, the class was taught 4 additional words: be nice, work hard. Rafe was a very inspiring teacher. A news reporter did an article on his class. Not only did the news reporter give Rafe credit, but she also gave tremendous credit to the students who were unusually nice and worked so incredibly hard. The article generated thousands of letters from people all around the world, which included parents, teachers, and citizens. Kathleen, if you got negative feedback, what is one thing you would do to overcome negative feedback from other teachers?
Well, I'd look into consideration at what the feedback was and then decide if I agreed. If so, I'd change what needed to be changed and ignore the other comments.
Good. Every year, Rafe also took an interest in all of his students. He got to know them and helped the students every time he got a chance, especially with Joy. She was in a troubled household where her father was abusive to her mother and to her. Her father locked Joy up in the closet to go find her mother and kill her. Somehow, Joy got loose and found the first person she called was the school to speak to Rafe. Rafe helped her in the situation and stayed by her until everything was all right. Atticus Finch helped Rafe work with his students. What would you do in this situation?
That's really something to think about.
In the epilogue, I'm Still Standing, the narrator in the story is a male teacher who sometimes wonders, is his job worth the hassle? His class is working on a very difficult play called The Winter's Tale by Shakespeare. As the narrator starts walking to work, it started to rain, and he had to walk 2 miles with no umbrella. After a vigorous 11 hours of teaching and working on the play, the students were ready to leave. As the students rushed to leave, they forgot to clean up this area. The narrator thought he was going to have to clean up the mess all by himself until he noticed 2 students that stayed behind, Danny and Karen. Danny was a smart boy in class, but he had a short temper to those who were not on his level. He was a lead actor in the play and a very talented musician. Karen was very quiet. Her artistic skills, hard work ethics, and talent helped her stand out in class. She was also another lead actor in the play. All the girls wanted to be with Danny, but he didn't want to be with the other girls. He really liked Karen. However, Karen did not feel the same way about him because she wanted a boy that was nice to everyone. When the author heard this about what Karen said to Danny, he soon realized that his teaching career was worth it, and it gave him something to look forward to for the next 20 years. A thing to think about is once you find the one thing that motivates you as a teacher, the more you will love your job.
This book is great for new and experienced teachers. It shows what is really important while teaching and gives great examples and experiences that teachers will relate to. This book will make you laugh, make you sad, and most importantly, make you think. After all, there are no shortcuts.
If you have any questions about our podcast, please leave a comment on either of our blogs. All of our sources came from Rafe Esquith's book, There Are No Shortcuts. Thank you for listening. This has been Alyssa Jackson
And Kathleen Wilhelm.
Goodbye.
Adios.